is like a sum up of the things I wish I didn't do this year. Some of the things could have waited, and I hope you take something from this. Not all the projects need to be persuaded. Not every beginning needs to actually be followed. There are things that you don't have to do. And as being a content creator, this is like my first year on this particular space. I decided that I think it's time for me to share. Okay, so number one thing is I recorded a Skillshare class this year. I'm gonna link it down below if by any chance you're still gonna be interested. But the thing is with the Skillshare class, the platform is fantastic and it's not that complex. It took me about, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks to write the script and then record it and upload it. But it was an expense for me because I had my editor actually edit each video, because you need to have at least 6, 7, 8. I did about 10 videos. This was an expense for me because I am not at that level yet on YouTube platform for people to actually be interested to purchase one of my classes. So I think I did it a bit earlier. It's just that I was so eager to get into the space and to get noticed and to get people to actually see the work that I'm doing, that I didn't even stop to think that people don't know me. People are not gonna just buy arbitrarily my class just because I recorded it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who record Skillshare classes. But this was a project that I really wanted to do, so I kind of stuck by it and I did record it, and it was an expense and I did lose money, let's put it that way, on it. But it was a fantastic experience. So the way I look at it, you know, I learned something from it. But I could have waited, definitely could have waited another year or two being in this particular space until people actually start noticing me and they would be inclined to buy my class. So that was a kind of mistake maybe that I did on a YouTube platform. When it comes to motherhood, another thing that I really shouldn't have listened, and I usually do listen to my daughter, is when she decided that she wants to go to a different school other than my son, which is a big of a hassle because they go to a uniform school, Catholic school, and for them, you need to, each school has its own uniform. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And this particular school that she chose was much further from our house. She needed to take a bus, but she really wanted to go because it was a school that all of her friends from our previous house that we were living a bit further from this one, and she really wanted to do it. And I actually said, you know what, I'm gonna listen to my daughter because I'm that kind of a parent, and I'm gonna let her make this her own decision. And I did. And that was the wrong decision. If something is telling you that your child is making, well, I'm sure there's a lot of things that your child is going to be making wrong, but there are certain things that you're thinking, oh, they're doing something wrong. Is it like your overprotectiveness or your like actual motherly instinct? So you have to kind of know when to identify one or the other. I didn't listen, and I did sign her up to that school, and then I had to drive her a couple of times, and then I told her, I said, sweetheart, you know, I was planning on you going to the same high school as your brother because the bus comes like right next to our house. So it would be so much easier. Your brother is there, you guys can commute together. But she was like really adamant. And she learned from her own mistakes. She attended that school for about 2 weeks. I told her, I'm sorry, I cannot be driving you in the morning. My mornings are very hectic. But if you want to take public transport just because you decided to go to that school, then sure, do it. She did it for a couple of days, and then she's like, Mom, can you switch me to the other school, to the school where Sasha goes to? So that was a whole other thing. Like, I had to pull her out of the school, return the uniform, buy another uniform, fill in all the paperwork, sign her up to a different school, make sure they have spots. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that you don't need to always listen to your children. There are certain things that you can actually say, you know what? I'm the grown-up, I'm gonna take this responsibility, and I'm gonna decide which school you're gonna go to. Just because in this particular situation, I know better. So don't feel inclined to always listen to your children. You are, after all, their parent, and you most likely have much more experience than they do. Another thing that I did wrong this year is I missed a flight to Tulum. I was supposed to go with a friend of mine for vacation for 7 days, and it was really poorly planned on my end, and I misled this particular friend. If she's watching, she knows who I'm talking about. I guess what I'm really trying to say, it was an unsettling feeling for me to actually give hope to someone that we can go on vacation together, and then ruining the plans basically. So I recouped the flight from Tulum, but flight there I missed it, and it was a missed opportunity for me and money spent, but it's because certain situation and being a parent kind of didn't align with me, and I couldn't take that trip. But in the future, if I ever plan anything with any friends, I will 100% make sure that everything goes by dots. So before you commit to any kind of plans, make sure you exhaust all of your possibilities, and you make sure that if one babysitter cannot do it, that you find another one. If one parent cannot help you with children, that you always have some kind of backup. And another thing, that my son was supposed to have my car for a week while I was on vacation, and that was another whole issue. I misled him because, you know, it's a ripple effect. Whatever you are canceling one thing, it always kind of affects not just you maybe and the person that you are canceling on, but it affects a whole lot of spectrum of people around you. So before you make any plans, and before you say no, and before you cancel any plans, make sure you know the consequences. Because I learned this year, I'm sure I learned it way before, but this year in particular, that every action has a reaction. Okay, so let's go back to business. The business mistake. Amazon. Okay, that's a strong word. I shouldn't say mistake. It wasn't a mistake. I just invested in the wrong product. So before I got to a point where I am today, and I'm selling more or less good on Amazon, my first product, I invested wrong. I didn't do my research. I invested in I went to India to source it because they have higher quality of the product, but I had a lot of issues with shipping up. Mind you, it was mid-pandemic, so I understand the issues. A lot of people were struggling with bringing product from any other countries into North America. And because the lack of research, and because I didn't educate myself fully, I missed on an opportunity. I lost money on this product. It didn't sell well, and I know that you think that each opportunity is like a lesson learned, but I consider that as a failure on my end because of very little preparations that I made for this particular product. Because I thought, you know, everything sells on Amazon, like why not this product? Because it's a high quality product. India does make some like really nice handmade products. So I kind of felt disappointed, obviously. And lesson learned, I'm gonna have to do much more thorough research before I bring any new product into Canada. Okay, on the mother spectrum, missed a parent-teacher with my both of my teens. You know, the way I think about it, if it was really something bad, the teachers would have found me. I know it maybe sounds bad, and for you parents out there, I apologize, but my approach is, my parents never went to school, like very rarely, to know what goes on. If there was anything really important, teachers would make a point to find my parents. But in this day and age, you know, teachers want to keep you involved in everything that goes on, and I don't want to be involved in everything. I do believe my children need some kind of privacy, some kind of, you know, their own life on the side. And I did end up doing the parent teacher, but it was over the phone, and I can tell you that it was fine with me missing it face to face. It was fine. There was nothing extremely major or extremely important they told me, or something that I didn't know before, that my children are doing this or that. So yes, I missed it. I did the phone call. Not a big deal. I don't feel like a failure or a bad parent for that matter. You know, it is what it is. Another thing that I really doing my research, still did my research when it comes to vaccination. I vaccinated my teens. I don't know how and who has an opinion about this particular topic. We were traveling to Europe this summer, and for them to go to Italy, they needed to be vaccinated, and I kind of did a very fast decision of vaccinating them because everyone was getting vaccinated, and I felt a little bit of pressure, well, a lot of bit of pressure to vaccinate them. And now, as I think about it, that all the restrictions were lifted and everyone is kind of free to travel, I think I could have waited. I think this is something that I could have done more research, because we still don't know the side effects. We still don't know how we are going to react in the years to come to this particular vaccination. And I still don't know what side effects might come up in my children. So I do believe that I do agree that children need to be vaccinated with the basic vaccinations that are required, vaccines that are required. But anything new, I could have done more research, and I could have waited. Another thing, and this is very personal to me, I have been slightly ignoring, I've been answering her messages and everything, but I've been slightly ignoring and coming to see an old friend, a friend that we went to university together back home, and she had a very tragic experience a couple of years back, and I always stuck by her. I always visited her. She has children, and once I had a traumatic experience about 2 years ago, I kind of felt like I don't want to be talking to anyone. I don't want to be reminded, and seeing her kind of triggered me of my own trauma. So I've been avoiding that. I don't know if that makes me a bad friend, or I'm always going by the motto that if a particular situation or a person makes you uncomfortable, no matter how close you are to that person, you need to leave. You need to remove yourself from that particular environment. And the fact that I am not maybe being as responsive to her is just proving the fact that I'm growing and then I'm healing, and then certain people need to stay in the past. Not everyone needs to travel with you into the future. So if you are feeling a little bit down, and if you're feeling disappointed in yourself that you're probably not getting back to some people that you think you should get back to those people, there must be a reason. There must be a reason within you. There must be something that is stopping you from reaching out to that particular person. Listen to that reason and listen to your body, because your body, your mind, your energy knows much better which people should be in your life and which people shouldn't. I truly urge you to let bygones to be bygones. Not much you can change, at least not in the last week of this year, and strive for better. Don't just do it on paper, do it for real. Be brave. It takes balls, I would say, to stick to your particular dreams, to stick to your hopes, to do something for yourself in the following year. And I do believe that whatever you did wrong and whatever you think you did wrong can be rectified. I'm always thinking that everything is fixable but death. So if there's something that you need to be fixing and you didn't do it in 2022, that's fine. You have a whole life ahead of you. You can fix it in 2023. And don't consider anything you did a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was an experience, and I'm sure you learned a lesson from it. Embrace your life. You are not perfect. You never will be perfect. No one is perfect around you. You survived the pandemic. You went through all of the bullshit that all of us went through in the last 2 years, I would say. And I hope 2023 is going to be a calm, very settling year, and everyone is gonna kind of regain their balance and get back into being who they truly were before the pandemic. So that's about it. I'm gonna go and finish my coffee. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here in Toronto, and I really wish you all the best, and I hope that whatever you learned this particular year, you're gonna take with you in the next year as just, an experience and something that you had to go through. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do give me a thumbs up. Apparently it helps the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao.